Welcome to Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. Anything and everything you need to know when it comes to your real estate needs right here in the state of Arizona.
Hello, Arizona, and welcome to this episode of Valley of the Sun Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Jayson Bates, the lender who lives in and is a part of your community. If you would like to reach out to the show, then I would love to hear from you, and you can do so by visiting my website at www.valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com. And from there, you can connect with me on any social media platform, check out past episodes of the podcast, and even call me directly. If you're listening to me on iTunes, please write a review, as it is one of the ways I use to help improve the show. So with that being said and out of the way, I want to get into today's topic. And today's topic being buyer beliefs that are hard to break. You know, as home buyers, we all want to believe that our credit is perfect, that everything is good. You should just give me the house just because I'm interested in purchasing it. And unfortunately, that just doesn't always work. So I want to go over some of the most common buyer beliefs. And if you're a buyer out there looking to purchase a home, you need to keep yourself in check here a little bit, because some of these things may offend you. And if they do, then it's probably hitting home, because that's probably who you are. I'm probably describing you pretty well. But before we get into that, I want to go over a couple of things here that I read in articles this week. And Phoenix area cities, some of the Phoenix area cities are ranked among the most family-friendly in the nation. I said that a little backwards, didn't I? So there are a few cities here in Phoenix and in around suburban Phoenix, if you will, that are ranked among the most family-friendly in the nation. And 8 of those cities actually are in that ranking. And they are Phoenix, obviously, Phoenix, Gilbert, Chandler, Peoria, Scottsdale, Glendale, Tempe are all ranked among the list of 150 best cities for families in the U.S. So the city of Gilbert ranks the highest, as it is number 14 out of the list. So Gilbert has always been a great place to raise a family. Lots of community parks, great schools down there. It's really a great area of town. And so I wanted to kind of give that shout out here to Phoenix. For anybody listening or anybody thinking about moving here, there are quite a few cities here who do rank among the best in the nation. We're also seeing a bump in housing permits this is all taken from home builders and their applications for building. We are seeing a rise in that from home builders in trying to keep up with demand. Demand here in Phoenix is very, very high, as it is in most areas of the country. But Phoenix right now is a little short on inventory, which is creating kind of a seller's market right now that we're kind of going through. So we're seeing multiple offers on homes, especially if it's turnkey and ready to go. You're going to have multiple offers, so you need to make your offers as clean as possible when doing that. And Phoenix is running low on short sale properties. We're starting to get out of that where there's a lot of short sales, which that was one of the things kind of holding back the builders, because if you could go out and get a home as a short sale and not have to go to a new builder, because typically here in Phoenix, it's kind of spread out, and new homes are typically on the outskirts of town. And with gas prices and some of the everyday living costs, if you will, and the non-infrastructure of schools maybe not being set up just yet, grocery stores, movie theaters, so on and so forth. When you're living on the outside of town, outskirts of town, it can be a little bit of a hindrance, if you will, especially if you're driving through Phoenix traffic on a weekly basis, which is no fun. It's getting to be like LA with traffic. So, but we are seeing short sales. We're not seeing as many short sales. So that's probably why we're seeing the uptick in housing permits out there. So with that being said, I wanted to kind of get that out of the way, but let's get right into these buyer beliefs that are hard to break. The number one thing that I see the most from buyers that it's just hard to break this is agents don't do much. My real estate agent just isn't working out for me. And they just open the door and write a contract. They don't do anything for me. They don't do any research. They don't know the market and all that. There's just numerous kind of directions you can kind of go with that. Number one, if you feel that your agent isn't working for you or advocating on your behalf for the best possible deal, you need to fire that agent immediately. Remember, you as a homeowner have the right to fire the agent at any point. Now, sometimes they'll make you sign some kind of buyer's broker agreement and that sort of thing. But before you sign that, you need to ask some questions of your agent. And if you listen to some of my past episodes with interviewing your agent and the right questions you should be asking your real estate agent, you're not going to feel like your agent isn't doing anything for you. The other thing that I would say, too, with your agents is that if you're looking in a specific area of town, whether that be East Valley, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, Glendale, wherever you're looking, you need to get with an agent who knows that area. And it's not just that area, but they need to know the neighborhoods. Some of the most successful agents here in the Valley focus on one particular neighborhood or one particular zip code, if you will. And that's all they focus on. They don't want to do anything outside of that. Those are the agents, if you want to live in that particular area or zip code, those are the agents you need to be working with. Now, that doesn't mean that you can go to that agent and just ask them to reduce their fees. They are very knowledgeable about what they represent, who they are, and what the market is doing in that particular area. That has some value. So don't try to, as a buyer, go in there and say, oh, well, you're going to do this for me, you're going to do that for me, and try to dictate things. Sometimes having the right professional and listening to that professional goes a lot further. And mind you, as a buyer, you're not paying for their services. So it's free. This is free information. Remember, the seller is going to pay for that buyer's, for your agent that represents you. So as a buyer, you're not paying anything for this agent, but do take and respect their time because their time is very, very valuable to them. So that's the number one thing I see out there is that people just don't feel that their agent is doing anything for them. Now, number two, I need to see everything on the market at any price before I make a decision. I see a lot of tire kickers, window shoppers out there. They want to see every single home as soon as it comes on the market, and everybody better drop what they're doing and make time for me. Well, unfortunately, that just doesn't work. I know purchasing a home is an emotional decision, and so you need to keep your emotions in check. Remember, if you've got the right agent, your agent's already going to do their homework, and they're going to look at the properties. They're going to call that agent. If something hits the market, they're going to call that listing agent and see if that home is even worth you looking at. And a lot of good agents are going to take you to some homes that maybe are distressed, that maybe are, not as sexy, if you will, when showing them, just so you can see kind of the worst of the market that's out there. And then they're going to take you to a home that might be one of the top homes in the market. And then say, okay, between these two homes, what is your, what's your sticking point? What do you like? What do you dislike? Do you like the layout? Do you like the floor plan? Do you like, the situation of the lot? Do you want a pie-shaped lot? Do you want a cul-de-sac? What is it that you're looking for? And good agents do that because they want to get a feel for you. Sometimes you can put on paper, what your must-haves are and what your needs are and what your wants are and that sort of thing in a home. But until you go actually out and feel it, touch it, smell it, the property, you sometimes don't even know what you want until you actually are out at the property. So good agents will take you to some of the bad properties and even some of the fantastic properties that even may be out of your price range. And they're doing that just to see where you're at and get a gauge for what you're actually looking for. Because again, we're looking at a home. This is a big investment. And so it's very important that we put you in the right home with the right amenities, something that you can grow into, something you're going to be happy with, not only tomorrow, but you want to be happy with for years to come. So, you don't necessarily have to see everything on the market, but you do want to see maybe the worst and the best, and then kind of make your decision from there. But you don't have to see every home on the market. It just doesn't need to happen. And furthermore, if you do that with your agent and you want to see every home and you want to see, you're very high demanding and you got to see it now before somebody else takes it off the market or somebody else puts an offer in or something like that, all you're going to do is upset your realtor. And your realtor is going to say, you know what? I've got a life. I've had many realtors, call me and say, Jason, I just got this buyer and they are just labor intensive. I'm about ready to fire the buyer. I just can't take it anymore. Be mindful. If you're a buyer, be mindful. These, realtors, myself, everybody, we all have lives outside of real estate. Yes, we want to help you. Yes, we want to represent you. Yes, we want you to get the best possible deal out there. That goes without saying. We are going to get that for you. Just be patient. Be understanding of everybody that is trying to help you and work through that process. Another one here that I see a lot of is someone will accept my lowball offer. Somebody's going to accept my offer just because I'm making the offer. So especially now, it's now July, almost August 2015, right here in Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona. And it is very high demand. It's really almost a seller's market. I mean, really, really, really close. It's really a seller's market, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. It's kind of a buyer's and seller's market, but it's more or less a seller's market. And because of that, you can't go in and make a lowball offer on a home. Just not going to work. You've got to make a clean offer on the home. You got to make a fair offer on your home. If you're worried about $1,000 on a home, then you need to look at another home. If it's going to be haggling over $1,000 here and there, now granted, if there's things wrong with the home during the home inspection, or there's maintenance issues or something like that, obviously every bit of money counts. I'm not discrediting that at all. But if the home fits everything that you're looking for, don't let $1,000 deter you getting the home of your dreams. Call your lender, call me. I'd love to help you out, because there's things that I can do to help alleviate some of that stuff. But you have to communicate, and you have to be open about what your feelings are and what you want in that home. So just be very, very open to suggestions. Don't just get in your zone, if you will, and only offer a lowball offer and just think that everybody needs to accept it just because you want to get the best deal out there. Remember, when you get your home and when you put your offer in and it gets accepted, we still have an appraisal. We still have other things we got to do, right, to validate the offer and solidify the offer. Getting the lowest price on the home isn't always the best deal. Just not. So sometimes you want to make a good offer, a solid offer, so that you get that under contract, and then get in and get everything else going. Remember, there's a lot of moving parts when you're purchasing a home, so you don't want to get frustrated by making a bunch of lowball offers. And another one that I see here a lot of is that I know what I can afford. I'll speak with a lender when I find the house that I want. I already know. I've already gone online. I've already gone to some of these, mortgage calculators, and I've already done this and I've already done that. So I know what I can afford. So just show me the houses, and then after I see the house that I want, then I'll get pre-qualified, or I'll get, qualified for a home. That is probably the worst thing that you can do. You need to talk to a lender, a good lender, not just a lender, not just your local bank teller. You need to talk to a lender who lives and breathes and is a professional at what they do, somebody like myself, because they're going to walk you through all the options that are available. I just had a conversation this morning with a realtor who was working with another lender here in Phoenix, in the Valley of the Sun, and that lender didn't offer her client all the options that are available to her client. They didn't offer some of the down payment assistance programs. They didn't go into great detail about the down payment assistance programs. That's a big disservice to you as a buyer. You want to know all your options that are available to you. Whether you choose to use them or not, you want to know all your options. And going to just one, bank teller or bank mortgage professional, may not cut it. You may need to shop it around. And yes, I'm telling you, shop me around. I know what I'm talking about. I know what's available. I know I'm competitive out there, and I'll put my service up against anybody out there, guaranteed. But you need to feel that from a buyer's perspective. You're the homeowner, or potential homeowner, or future homeowner. You are the person that needs to work with somebody that you are comfortable with. So I get it. I'm not going to please everybody. I totally understand that. But you as a buyer, you need to work with somebody that you are comfortable with. So, and the other thing, when you go online and you look at some of these pricing, mortgage calculators, or some of these other websites that can give you an estimate, maybe the Zestimate, from Zillow or Trulia or whatever, that gives you a mortgage payment, you can't trust that, because you need something that's in real time what the market's doing, what the rates are doing. You need to look up the taxes and you see if there's an HOA. If you're doing an FHA, you need to know what the MI is, mortgage insurance. You need to know all these sort of things that factor into the total payment, because it's not just the principal and interest payment that you're going to qualify with. Remember, when we pre-qualify you for a home loan, we're looking at the total housing expense. So if you have an HOA, that factors in there. Obviously, the taxes, property taxes, and the insurance are going to factor into that calculation. So very, very important that we get the entire amount of what that monthly payment will be to qualify you. And also remember, there are restrictions on, you may feel what you can afford is one thing, but then what we can actually get you approved for on paper could be something completely different. So very important, before you even look at a home, you need to talk to a lender and not just assume that, hey, I'm paying this in rent right now, therefore that equates to a payment of this, so I just need a house. Let me go online and get this calculation. Okay, I can get this house for this. I've talked to many people who have done that, and then come to find out, hey, you forgot to add in your taxes and insurance. Hey, you forgot to add in your mortgage insurance. Hey, you forgot to do this. Hey, you forgot to do that. And all of a sudden, their price point is much lower. And meanwhile, they're disappointed because they were looking at homes that were above what they actually could afford to qualify for as far as underwriting goes. And furthermore, if your agent isn't telling you to get pre-qualified before taking you out, then that's a red flag. That's a bad agent. Because all the agents I deal with that have been in the business a long time will not even get you into the car to take you out to a property without first having or knowing that you've talked or spoken with somebody that they trust that will ask the right questions and go through a thorough application getting you qualified. So don't think that, you can just go out there. Now you can drive around, of course, and, call on yard signs and get that kind of idea of where you want to be and talk to those agents about, those sort of things. But, don't really seriously think about considering putting in an offer on a home until you've actually spoken with a good qualified lender who's going to go over all the options available to you so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. So those are some of the things that I see. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody too much out there, but if you are one of those buyers who fits into one of these categories, who is just not open to anything, then please take time and reevaluate yourself and look at what are the things that you can do to help improve your situation. Remember, we're all here as a team to help you get and realize the dream of home ownership. So we're here to make that happen for you. We just got to take some steps in that process to get you there. And if you can trust us that we're going to work on your behalf and be an advocate for you and wave the banner for you, then you're going to have a successful closing and you're going to be very, very happy at the end of the day. So I hope that helps you. And until next time, remember, you can always visit my website at www.valleyofthesunrealestateshow.com. Connect with me on any social media. Follow me on Twitter. You can even call me directly right there from that website, and I would love to hear from you. And if you're listening to me on iTunes, please write a review, as it is one of the ways that I use to help improve the show. So until next time, I hope to see you out there house hunting soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Jayson Bates, NMLS 220798, mortgage banking license 0119128, equal housing lender. Sound effects provided by soundwave.com.